Hi. In this video, we will try to create a measure which calculates dynamic total steps and last 10 months based on the user selections. This is the report page. There are a couple of visuals here. There are two slices up top, and also there is a table and line chart. As you can see, those are the values which are being passed. Those are coming from the single table. And if you click on any kind of slicer selections, if selections are made, obviously the visuals will change. That is the basic functionality, right? Based on the filter context. Since everything is coming from the same table, if you click on any kind of month, year, only a single value is shown. So we want to make sure that we use a disconnected table for the month, year selections, and we will try to create a measure that can calculate last n months and based on the values. So I have passed on the slicer. I swapped out the year to dynamic parameter. This parameter we have created in the past. So the idea is that, for example, if user selects 5 and we want to grab those 5 values as shown here. So that means there is a max and there is a min. So we have a range of values to be grabbed. And during that date period, we want to calculate the total steps. So it will work dynamically. And whenever the user makes selections, any point of time, they want to see those values based on the dynamic parameter selections too. So that is the whole idea, so as shown here. So from December up until August, that is what we want to grab. And as shown here, any kind of selections are made, we want to calculate those values as well. So what we need to do is we need to swap out the select month year slicer to a disconnected table. We have done that in the past. We have created a disconnected calendar table. So as shown here, and we can also create a dynamic parameter. You can go to modeling and create a parameter or create a new table. So now that we are set, so let us try to go into the DAX query view and create step by step. Again, a DAX query view could be used for many other applications too, but I just wanted to make sure that we go step by step and see. And if you want more details, you can look at DAX query view. What are the options you can use in DAX query view? It's much more powerful than what we are trying to do. So let us, now that we have understood, let us try to go back and see how we can build this measure from the DAX query view. We are in the DAX query view, so evaluate, and we will use all selected on the disconnected table and run this. And this is a table is returned, nothing fancy here. And since we want to grab the max value, let us use the iterative function maxx. This is the table, and the expression is, we will say, hey, we want to use the disconnected calendar table date. So once we close that, and let us try to create a variable, right? So let us call it as a reference date, ref date, and let us pass this and close the parenthesis. And in the return statement, we will try to uh, use the ref date. So once you run, you get an error because this is not a table. So it's a scalar value. So in our case, it is a date. So let us wrap that around the curly braces. So now the max date in our data set is 12/16/2023. That is returned. Now that we have the max date, next we need to grab the min date, right? And so that we get the period range. So there are several ways you can use the date difference and dates in period as such. There is no start of the month function in DAX, so we are kind of going to tweak end of month function. End of month expects a start date and number of months. Since we want to go back so we will use the negative and we use the dynamic parameter, and that way we have that, and we run this particular thing. It is showing you 731, right? So end of the month, obviously the function definition is that it will give you the last day of that month, and again the dynamic parameter default value is 5. So like I said, the min date of the last day of the month is shown. If we add +1, it will fall on the next month first day. So that is exactly what is shown here. So that's done. So finally we will create another variable, and we want to calculate the total steps, right? So let us try to use the calculate function. What we want to do is we want to calculate the total steps within this filter context. So the filter context will be, so let us try to use the word filter, and filter what do you want to filter? We want to filter calendar table, and this is the condition, right? Since we want a range, we say, hey, calendar table date is greater than or equal to min date and calendar table date is less than or equal to the reference date. So if that is the filter condition, then give me the total steps. So once we run this and we get the total steps, total steps are 1.22 million. So let us try to go back and verify. Let us go to the report page, swap out the month year from to calendar table. I think this seems to be good, right? We have verified the code is perfect. So this is like I said, the default value parameter value is 5. So we are getting that. So once it is done, all we have to do is copy this code and go back to our measure table, right click on it, create a new measure. Let us try to paste this code and let us try to format this. And you can name whatever. So I'm just naming it as last n months steps. And this is the same code which we have written in a tax query view. Run it, format it, and those are that measure is ready. So let us swap out the calendar table. Let us bring the calendar table month year from the disconnected table so that the logic works. So if you click on anything, nothing is happening yet, right? Because in the table visual, as you can see, the total steps is there. So we need to swap out that to the new measure which we have just created. So let us try to do that, add it, and I think it's good. I think 1.223 is what is we have calculated in the DAX query view. This is working. And the line chart also, the all those two things, month year is coming from calendar table for x-axis and total steps is the measure. Let us try to add the new measure which we have created. Let us try to reorder it, make it in the top, and I'm doing all those formatting, right? So we want to make sure that we kind of use different colors for the two line charts. And let us try to do the formatting. Let us try to add the data labels. And also let us change the color of the line. So we want the total steps line to be a little bit lighter so that we want to show the total last n steps, right? So that is the idea. So let us try to add the markers and do all those things. Play around. Based on your needs, you can do that. So I'm quickly doing all these things so that whenever user makes selections, those things are changing. So I think this is perfect. And this is what we wanted to do. User selects on any kind of date. You can see the changes in the visuals. And I've used another custom visual, play axis. So if you play on that, it will also show you some kind of animated way. So this is also one way in case if the user wants this kind of option instead of clicking on month here. And if you play on the click on the play button on the play axis, those things also will change. So let us try to resize it. And also we want to go back, right? So we can always kind of sort the play axis column which we have passed that is coming from the disconnected table. And like shown here, any kind of selections which are made, this seems to be working. I think we have achieved what we have intended to. We wanted to show dynamically last 10 months based on the user selections. And once we have done that, we have sorted. We can make all the changes from the format section. Make sure that it is colorful. The play axis as shown here. And also, like I said, we can sort the axis from descending to ascending. So that way it will go from, now it is going from left to right, right? So we want to make sure that it goes from the max to the min. So like shown here, the months are descending there so that the line graph also makes sense, right? It shows you correctly. So this is the thing. I mean, all these things again, like I said, always it based on your need, you can do it. Now, think about another situation, right? If the requirement changes, right, and somebody, your manager or somebody says that, hey, I want a new report page that shows not only the dynamic last 10 months, but also I want to see the next n months. So what we could do is we will try to change the name of the title here. So to the future n months or next 10 months, whatever, based on your need, you can change that. And what we could do is we can swap out, we remove the line chart, make it into a column chart. And as shown here, if you click on anything, those values are changing, right? If you make any selections, let us try to resize the month year. I mean, I've not made any changes, right? This is coming again from the disconnected table. The dynamic parameter is also there. So, like I said, we can kind of tweak the code which we have already written, copy that code, go create a new measure and name it appropriately. And for now, I'm writing it as last 10 and future n months. So What we could do is we can just add another code block, copy that code, the min and date, and paste it there. So again, copy it, paste it here, and kind of make changes to this code, right? So we want the next month. So we can say that, hey, next n months equal to end of month. Same reference date is the start date. Instead of a negative, we'll make it as positive, right? And also another change in the calculate, we can change it to instead of reference date, make it as next n months. So once we are happy, commit to it and add that here. So that you can see it's already been added. It is showing perfectly. This is a selected month, and you have a selection as there, and it is showing that. And also I've created another conditional format. So we said that, hey, selected value disconnected table date is equal to calendar table date selected value. Then give me this color. Otherwise, give me orange color. So this is how we can do it. Conditional format. It's a pretty simple thing, and that way we have the visual is also popping out. A user makes selections; those are changing. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.